Today we're going to be talking about restraining cones. Welcome to Barely Homesteading. This is Lumberjack. Today we want to talk to you about restraining cones. So for those of you who have watched our previous videos know that we use a restraining cone to restrain our poultry, our chickens or our turkeys, while we are processing them, or while we're dispatching them, so that they aren't flopping around hurting themselves and suffering while that process occurs. So today we're going to actually be building a permanent home for these restraining cones. Now in the past we've had a piece of wood attached to the back, and then we would simply clamp this onto our table or wherever we're working on our poultry as we're processing them. And this has some disadvantages to it. So right now all of the weight is being held just by these two screws, and you can see that there's a lot of play in this cone. And that's not good, because we could potentially tear out. When we were processing Tom last Thanksgiving, he was a big bird, and we actually had some difficulty with him in the restraining cone. So we're going to be building a permanent fixture for these cones to sit on that will support the back of the cone, make it nice and sturdy. Also, we want to be able to have a permanent place for our 5-gallon bucket underneath, so that we aren't worried about it getting moved or falling over. And then in addition, if we again have a bird like Tom that doesn't fit into our restraining cone, we want to come up with a solution for being able to still process those bigger birds. So let me show you what we're going to do. Alright, so the idea is we want to build a platform and attach to that platform a vertical tower, so to speak, that we can then attach the cones to, with the chicken cone on one side and then the larger turkey cone on the other side. The platform underneath will have a place for our 5-gallon bucket to sit, and then up above we will have a beam, a 2x4, that we can attach some rope loops to, so that if we have a larger bird, we can put the feet of the larger bird into those loops. The head will be just over the cone, and so when we dispatch it, because it can't fit in the cone, at least it will be somewhat contained, and we'll be able to easily process the bird. So that's what we're going to do today. Alright, so we got the two main components of our cone holder fixture. I've got a 3-foot by 3-foot base, and then I've got a 6-foot tall by 1 foot wide. The centerpiece is 1 foot wide. Overall it's going to be 15 feet or 15 inches wide. And this is where we're going to be attaching our cones. So I'm going to attach this to the base, and then we will start to build everything around that. So our poultry restraint holder fixture is done. I made it so that these two uprights are just enough to kind of wedge a 5-gallon bucket in there so it holds it steady. My large restraint cone for the turkeys is very stable. And then back here on the back side, I've got the smaller restraint cone for the chickens. And then if the bird is too big to fit in the cone, I've got a rope up here attached to the top, a couple of slip knots that we can put onto the turkey's legs, and then hold them over the large cone in order to process them and let them bleed out. So the only thing left to do is to test this out. All right, so turkey fits in there pretty well. Cone is nice and stable. So I think this new rack for our restraining cones is going to work out perfect. For Bearly Homesteading, this is Lumberjack saying use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. We'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe.